chosen ones. Listen closely, for your frequency has become too loud to ignore. The world is staring, and there is a lethal spiritual reason behind it.
You are not imagining it.
Lately, you've noticed eyes locking onto you longer than usual. People are staring at you in the street, in rooms, in silence.
This is happening
because we are hours away from the snow full moon, and your energy is vibrating at a decibel that the collective nervous system can no longer bypass. Before massive energetic peaks, the human brain enters a scanning mode. It searches the environment for stability, for someone who feels grounded, centered, and self-contained.
without realizing it.
The masses are locking their eyes onto you because you have become the reference point in a room full of chaos.
In a world of uncertainty,
Your face has become an orientation tool.
but before I reveal,
Why your inner light is currently shocking the darkness around you, you must verify your radiance
like this video right now,
to signal to the eternal anchor that you accept your role as a lighthouse.
in the comments below,
I want you to type the code Radiance 2026 to anchor your energetic signature.
type Radiance 2026.
To declare to the cosmic grid, I am the reference point. I am the stability. My light is visible.
Subscribe the holy days and activate the bell.
For as the snow moon reaches its peak, this transmission is your only atmospheric radar.
As we move into this full moon,
You aren't just feeling brighter, you look brighter. This isn't a mystical abstraction, it is a biological reality.
your inner frequency
Is cutting through the emotional dimness of the world like a blade.
the shock of light.
When everyone has adjusted to the darkness, your clarity becomes a shock to the system.
A cosmic amplifier.
This full moon is acting as a megaphone for your internal strength. It is slipping through your body language, your walk, and even your silence.
The awakening.
You are reminding the world, without saying a word, that something higher exists. You have broken the spell of unconsciousness just by being present. They stare because you are the proof that the light hasn't gone out. The gaze is fixed. The amplifier is on. Your radiance starts now.
But beneath this visible shift,
Something far more profound is unfolding. It's the subtle, almost invisible process that catches most people entirely off guard.
in the hours preceding a full moon,
Your energetic field, the invisible layer surrounding you, pulls inward and simultaneously becomes exquisitely open.
this isn't a vulnerability.
Paradoxically, it is the source of the magnetic power others are sensing in you right now. However, this amplified openness means you are reacting to your environment with a sensitivity approaching clairvoyance,
Imagine your personal aura,
transforming into a state-of-the-art, high-resolution sensor array.
every subtle frequency,
Every unspoken anxiety, every shadow of intent from the people around you lands with an unusual depth and clarity. If someone is wrestling with unacknowledged jealousy, projecting internal chaos, or simply carrying heavy emotional baggage, you register it instantly. You often process the underlying emotional tone of a room before a single word is even spoken. This deep immersion is precisely why navigating certain social settings feels suddenly exhausting. Why dense crowds can feel like a physical pressure, instantly draining your reserve. It's why your internal guidance system, your intuition, is practically screaming at you to pivot away from specific people or places. You aren't absorbing this negativity because you are weak. You absorb it because you possess a rare and powerful degree of openness. And in this phase, openness demands radical protection. Being fiercely selective about the company you keep and the energies you invite into your space is no longer just a personal preference. It is an essential act of spiritual hygiene. This pre-full moon phase acts like a cosmic magnifier, enhancing everything it touches, both harmonious and dissonant. If misaligned energies creep too close, they penetrate your system before your conscious mind even registers the threat. Right now, the collective societal atmosphere is undergoing one of those subtle atmospheric pressure builds, a quiet surge of underlying tension where everyone's awareness becomes unconsciously elevated. It mirrors the heavy, charged stillness that descends upon the landscape just before a massive storm breaks. The emotional atmosphere tightens, making people's unresolved feelings sit agonizingly close to the surface, and even the smallest energetic signal from others feels amplified and urgent. This isn't merely mystical, it is deeply rooted in collective psychology. When this emotional tension escalates, the human nervous system instinctively sharpens. We become more observational, more reactive, and constantly scan the environment for cues. Before people finally address the decisions they've been avoiding, before long suppressed emotions inevitably surface, everyone subconsciously initiates an energetic audit of their surroundings. This explains why you're experiencing that odd sensation of being intensely watched or noticed more frequently. People aren't necessarily looking at you, they are scanning for stability. They are looking for someone who projects steadiness, someone centered, someone grounded enough to act as a vital point of emotional reference in the ambient chaos. They aren't seeking intellectual answers from you, they are seeking embodied direction. During this concentrated pre-full moon window, instances of prolonged eye contact increase dramatically. In grocery store lines, across crowded sidewalks, in the middle of a mundane meeting, or even through digital interactions. People's brains become hyper-attuned to micro-expressions, subtle shifts in tone, and changes in posture. They aren't thinking, "I should observe this person," but their lower brain and nervous system are relentlessly processing every single detail. And because your presence right now is distinctly poised, a focal point of energetic balance amidst widespread uncertainty, you instantly become the nearest, most dependable reference point they instinctively latch onto. They maintain that eye contact just a fraction longer because they are subconsciously searching for an anchor, stability, clarity, or alignment. You are accidentally providing the calm they lack. You are not performing any unusual action. You simply happen to embody the quiet center amidst the surrounding storm of everyone else's tension, and that makes you visible in ways you have never been before. One of the most fascinating transformations occurring within you now is the profound shift toward energetic containment. Most people habitually walk through life with their attention constantly leaking outward, frantically worrying about external opinions, relentlessly scanning for approval, striving to meet endless expectations, and projecting their unresolved insecurities everywhere they go. This outward dispersion leaves their energy scattered, their focus thin, and their presence easy to dismiss. But your internal operating system is fundamentally different right now. Consciously or not, you have been meticulously reclaiming your energetic sovereignty, pulling your attention back inward, anchoring it firmly within yourself. You possess a distinct lack of interest in seeking external validation or allowing outside noise to penetrate your calm. This intense connection to your internal state is generating a tangible density around you, not heaviness, but profound solidity. When an individual ceases the constant leaking of their vital energy, their silence becomes instantly louder and more resonant than everyone else's frantic noise. People register this seismic shift immediately. They don't need spiritual terminology or esoteric understanding. They simply feel a fundamental difference when you enter a space. You feel like someone who is perfectly situated within their physical body, unhurried, not overstimulated, and utterly unspread thin. Most observers cannot articulate why you command their attention, yet they linger. They look longer because your presence is anchored in a deep groundedness that contrasts sharply with their own disarray. And when a field of scattered energy meets a point of collected, stable energy, the mind is irresistibly drawn to study it, analyze it, and attempt to mirror its stillness. You become an instantaneous focal point precisely because you are not dumping your attention into the world the way the majority of people are. This is the hallmark of the pre-full moon phase, where certain souls appear clearer, steadier, and exquisitely aligned, causing others to instinctively move toward that vibration. There is something profoundly and quietly uplifting about the way people are reacting to you lately. Even if the heightened scrutiny feels strange or uncomfortable on the surface, understand this. Before major emotional and spiritual resets, the kind catalyzed by a potent full moon like this one, people naturally become hyper-aware of the qualities they desperately lack and the qualities they are striving to embody. Therefore, when someone's gaze lingers on you, it isn't rooted in judgment. It isn't confusion about your demeanor. It is instantaneous, deep recognition. People are not staring because they perceive something wrong with you. They stare because something feels intensely right about you. You are radiating a sense of calm authority, crystalline clarity, and quiet, unshakable strength that others instinctively pick up. You are currently holding a specific energetic frequency, a resonance, that they are subconsciously aspiring to reach, even if they cannot yet attach a name to it. It's almost as if your collected energy inadvertently shows them a potential version of themselves they are actively trying to cultivate. People are not intimidated by your increasing light. They are inspired by the potential that light awakens within their own dormant spirits. This explains why certain individuals soften noticeably when they are near you. It clarifies why strangers exhibit unusual levels of kindness. It is why people who previously overlooked you suddenly seem drawn to the quiet magnetosphere of your presence. You represent an internal direction, a possibility, an achievable self that they recognize they urgently need to embody. And the breathtaking beauty of this is that you are not exerting any effort to conjure this attention. You are not performing, forcing conversations, or attempting to impress anyone. You are simply existing in a state of alignment that prepares you for your own next grand step. This natural alignment makes you instantly stand out to anyone who is currently searching for their own internal transformation. People look at you because they sense potential, their potential, not just yours. They sense that you are carrying the blueprint of something they are moments away from discovering within themselves. And with the building energy of this full moon, that deep, subconscious recognition will only become more intense and undeniable. There is a profoundly specific type of attention that people reserve for you just before a major, life-altering shift occurs, and you are immersed in that threshold phase right now. It manifests as that lingering stare, the gaze that holds for a second too long, as if they are capturing a crucial mental screenshot. People may lack the conscious awareness, but on a deep, primal, instinctive level, the human system can sense when someone is preparing for an energetic exit from their shared reality, be that exit physical, emotional, or vibrational. Just before the apex of a full moon, especially one charged with this level of internal pressure, your soul begins a quiet preparation for departure. Not a dramatic vanishing act, but an evolutionary kind of departure. You are ascending into a new vibrational resonance, initiating a new chapter, and stepping into a completely revised version of yourself. The people surrounding you are registering this shift even before you have fully embodied the change. This is the reason their eyes repeatedly seek yours. Their subconscious recognizes the transformation before their conscious mind can process the data. People can feel the exact moment you cease belonging to their collective past, even if you haven't fully stepped into your future reality yet. This explains why certain individuals who were once perfectly comfortable around you now seem slightly unsure of what to say, or why acquaintances are acting strangely sentimental without grasping the emotional source. Some may appear overly polite, acutely observant, or intensely attentive, not necessarily because they suddenly admire you more, but because they are subconsciously sensing an impending goodbye that they cannot articulate in words. It's as if your energy field is already halfway out the door, already aligning with a new direction, and they are reacting to the subtle absence that is steadily growing stronger. Energetically, this full moon functions as a vital release point, a breaking away from old timelines and narratives that you have definitively outgrown. You have navigated a prolonged season of internal stillness, patiently waiting for the precise moment to move, to shift, to declare, "I am no longer staying confined here." Now that this pivotal moment has arrived, people can sense the quiet disconnect, the subtle, profound detachment that occurs when your soul is preparing to step into a space where they simply cannot follow. This is not about intentionally cutting people off or abandoning commitments. It is the inevitable byproduct of evolution, and evolution consistently creates distance from anything that no longer aligns with your upward trajectory. You are entering a phase where your collected energy is too vast, too potent to remain confined by old, restrictive patterns. The people who are accustomed to your former self instinctively register this change, and their lingering glances are their silent way of acknowledging the transformation they lack the language to explain. Some will look upon you with quiet admiration, sensing the latent strength driving your shift. Others will look with stark curiosity, wondering precisely what changed. And a select few might look at you with a soft, unspoken sadness, not because anything is wrong, but because they can feel you won't be residing in the same emotional or spiritual space for much longer. They are witnessing the version of you they once knew slowly recede into the distance, and they don't know how to metabolize that complicated feeling. This full moon illuminates departures, intense transitions, and the graceful closing of old chapters, not as instances of loss, but as powerful confirmations that you are ascending into something magnificent and new. And whether people openly admit it or not, their eyes are flawless instruments for recognizing the moment someone begins to rise. Their stares become a quiet farewell, a subtle tribute, a profound and silent recognition that your next chapter is irrevocably calling you forward. And the truth is, they are absolutely right. One of the most counterintuitive and surprising aspects of this moment is the depth of your energetic transformation, even though you haven't been actively forcing strenuous change. This is not one of those cycles where accelerated growth demands pushing harder, aggressively fixing every perceived flaw, or forcing yourself into relentless action. This is a far quieter, more profound kind of shift, the type that effortlessly unfolds when the foundation of your life begins rearranging itself in ways your conscious mind is too limited to fully track. Right now, You are in a deep state of energetic recalibration, a total system update. Even if your daily routine appears perfectly normal on the surface, a subtle, massive movement is happening in the hidden layers beneath. Old, restrictive emotional patterns are loosening their calcified grip. Exhausted narratives are dissolving without you needing to expend energy arguing against them.
And spaces in your life
That felt profoundly stagnant are beginning to spontaneously open. It is as if the fabric of your reality is actively untangling complex knots you weren't even aware were binding you. This is why certain difficult situations suddenly feel different without you needing to manually alter them. It's why some people who once exerted a draining pull on your energy no longer possess the same power. It's why repetitive, negative thoughts no longer land with the same crippling intensity. These are undeniable signals that your internal architecture is updating itself, not through sheer willpower, but through natural, perfect timing and alignment. You are shifting frequencies without lifting a finger because not every form of evolution demands exhausting effort. Some leaps simply require perfect timing and deep surrender. There are certainly phases where progress hinges entirely on your boundary setting, decision-making, and resistance pushing,
but this phase is definitively
not one of them. This is one of those rare, potent windows where exercising less control, paradoxically, generates more comprehensive change. When you step back and trust, the organizing intelligence of the universe steps powerfully forward. Visualize it as a complex chessboard being silently rearranged by unseen hands. While you are momentarily distracted, people are moved into optimal new positions. Opportunities shift closer to your sphere. Certain destructive energies are quietly redirected away from your path. Long-standing blocks dissolve without a dramatic confrontation. Things that were frustratingly delayed suddenly begin to line up seamlessly. Life is anything but stagnant right now. It is aggressively reorganizing itself so that your next, higher chapter can unfold with impeccable cleanliness and grace. This explains the unusual mixture of deep calm and electrifying anticipation you may feel simultaneously. A part of you inherently senses that something massive is being executed behind the scenes. A part of you feels actively prepared for something bigger, even though the specific details remain elusive. This is because your inner energy has already completed the transition into the next phase, while your physical reality is catching up, piece by agonizing piece. Remain highly conscious of what feels authentically aligned and what feels fundamentally off-kilter. Observe keenly where your energy naturally lifts and where it drains instantly. Pay close attention to the micro shifts in your habitual thought patterns, underlying motivations, and baseline emotional responses. These are not random fluctuations. They are explicit signals that your next, most powerful version is steadily forming from the inside out. This is a transformation you do not have to fight to achieve. The shift is already happening, already unfolding, already shaping itself meticulously around you. You are evolving powerfully in the background, even on the days you feel completely still. And the more you allow this organic process to move without force, the cleaner and exponentially more potent the resulting transformation becomes. Here is a crucial insight that most people overlook, but once recognized, it instantly makes everything around you click into focus. The energy that individuals feel most acutely isn't the full moon at its peak illumination. It is the intense, almost unbearable buildup leading into it. The anticipation phase is invariably more emotionally and psychologically charged than the actual event itself. This is the precise window when collective human behavior subtly and dramatically shifts, when instincts are honed to a razor edge, and when people start deeply noticing things, and noticing you, in ways they typically never do. The nervous system inherently reacts to the approaching emotional release long before the conscious mind can formulate an intellectual understanding of what is happening. And that charged, transitional atmosphere is exactly what you are currently moving through. While the actual snow full moon is still hours away, the collective tension leading into it is already heavily pressing on people's senses. Their nervous systems enter a state of hyper-alertness. Their attention becomes highly selective, almost survival-driven. They begin relentlessly scanning their environment without even realizing they are executing this surveillance, picking up on minute cues, small energetic shifts, and subtle signals. And you have inadvertently become one of the most prominent of those signals. In purely psychological terms, deep anticipation creates a state of heightened sensory awareness. In spiritual terms, this same phenomenon creates a powerful, inescapable spotlight effect around certain anchored individuals. Whether you intended it or not, you have stepped directly into that illuminated space. Anticipation activates the senses far more intensely than the climax of the event ever does. Recall those moments in your life where the build-up felt heavier than the thing itself. The profound silence right before an audience erupts into applause. The unsettling stillness that precedes a massive storm finally breaking. The long, suspended inhale taken just before someone delivers the answer that changes everything. Those moments feel heavy, electrically charged, and intensely dramatic, not because of what is happening in the present, but because of the unavoidable force of what is about to happen. That is the dominant energy permeating the air right now. Everyone feels as if they are standing precariously on the edge of a precipice. Consequently, their awareness expands exponentially. They hold eye contact longer. They register ambient energies faster. They observe the people around them with an unusual, almost desperate intensity, attempting to rationalize what their intuition is already sensing. And since your presence feels unhurried, perfectly solid, deeply self-contained, and energetically divergent from the surrounding anxiety, people naturally anchor themselves to your stability. You become the subtle indicator they use to measure the volatile tension in the air. You function as the collective emotional thermometer without ever intending to take on that role. This is the primary reason why the intense staring increases, why people seem suddenly more curious, why you feel that inescapable sense of being subtly watched. They are not acting consciously, they are merely reacting to the profound internal build-up happening within their own systems. Chosen ones. What happens when you finally stop fighting the current and allow the natural flow of evolution to take the lead? This is not just a passing celestial moment, it is a profound reminder that within you lies a quantum navigation system, an internal compass that has been calibrated for this exact moment in time. You have reached the end of the struggle. Now, you begin the ascent. To navigate this new chapter, you must integrate these 4 pillars of higher consciousness. 1. The sovereignty of intuition. In a world drowning in the noise of the matrix, we are programmed to seek answers from external authorities. But as the dust settles, your intuition is screaming with a clarity you have never known. This is not logic, it is a deep cellular knowing. Trust the frequency of people and situations. If a connection drains your energy, walk away without explanation. If a path brings you an unexplainable sense of peace, explore it with courage. Your intuition is your most loyal guide through this dimensional shift. 2. The responsibility of the light. Have you spent your life shrinking back, afraid that your brilliance would intimidate others? That contract is now void. Your light does not dim the world. It illuminates the path for those still lost in the shadows. Do not apologize for your presence. Your peace and clarity are gifts to the collective. True power is not about becoming someone. It is about the radical courage to be exactly who you are and allowing that frequency to ripple through the field. 3. The mastery of non-action. The old paradigm taught you that you must do something to create change. But the greatest magic occurs when you step out of the way. Evolution is a natural process, like a flower blooming. It requires no force, only the right conditions. Sometimes, the most powerful move is to observe and allow. Create a sacred space for stillness. It is in the moments of total surrender that the great architect rearranges the pieces of your life. You do not need to break down doors. They will swing open when your frequency matches the reality behind them. 4. The courage of the new timeline. This full moon is not just a closing act, it is the Genesis gate. People are noticing your transformation not because you have reached a goal, but because you have shifted your vibration. You are becoming a version of yourself that the old world can no longer contain. Enter this new chapter with a heart wide open. Do not cling to the familiar, no matter how comfortable it feels. Every interaction and every synchronicity you encounter now is a divine confirmation that you are in alignment. The road ahead may not be fully visible, but you are already equipped with everything you need. Step forward with absolute confidence. The struggle is over. The integration is complete. Your internal light is now the only map you will ever need. The universe has spoken. The path is clear.